In ancient days, when folks were not as wise as they are nowadays, there lived a kingdom set high above where ugliness dwells, called Nebosa, a small settlement that made up the kingdoms of the Sambosa dynasty. It was a kingdom surrounded by both rivers and lakes. It graced in glory for its beautiful landscape, fertile soil, and enviable water sources. It was a land favored and blessed by the goddess of beauty. It was said that the goddess of beauty appeared once a year to enrich the soil, heal her land from sickness and pestilence, and protect her subjects from every form of attack. Her power, greatness, and prowess were adored by the people for centuries. The people of Nebosa lived happily with no fear of betrayal, but in this particular year, there was no rainfall. The farmers lamented daily, and some blasphemed against the goddess of beauty. The people of Nebosa invited rainmakers from both far and near to make it rain, but their efforts were in vain. A herbalist with a local reputation for commanding rainfall gathered the people at the Ngen River. He murmured some clumsy incantations, after pouring a series of libations, but it was all an empty boast until the arrival of the magical wizard of Zazu named Ataka. That day he made it rain cats and dogs. It was no ordinary rain. The people of Nebosa were so excited that they adored him as their god. They begged Ataka to settle in their kingdom and be their god, forgetting the goddess who had protected them for generations. This made the goddess sad and angry, and she retreated into a lonely lake, vowing never to help the people again. As time went on, Ataka the magician paraded himself as a god and used his enchantments on anyone who dared to challenge him. The people lived in fear for many years. Some fled to neighboring villages. Ataka lived all by himself in a large compound with different varieties of fruits in front of his hut. A mango tree was one of them, but he gave a stern warning to the villagers never to eat from it, and they all avoided it like a plague. One day, a pregnant woman named Beatrice was on her way back from the farm, tired and thirsty. She needed something to quench her thirst. As soon as she got to Ataka's compound, she saw some very ripe mangoes on the tree. She went closer and examined them. They looked so fresh and succulent that she longed for them and had the greatest desire to eat some. She sat under the tree and ate the mangoes to her satisfaction. Suddenly, Ataka rushed out from his backyard. On seeing Beatrice, he yelled, "You pregnant devil! How dare you eat from my tree?" Beatrice became terrified. "I am sorry, great one. I was thirsty and needed to quench the appetite that comes with pregnancy," she apologized demurely. Ataka felt a sharp pain in his chest and gave a loud cry of despair. "Oh! You have killed me," he said. Beatrice went on her knees to apologize, but Ataka was infuriated and unwilling to forgive. He then laid a curse on Beatrice's unborn child, declaring that she would give birth to the ugliest girl in the world, with no admirers or suitors. Not long after, Ataka died, but his curse remained. Beatrice gave birth to a daughter named Naomi. She was beautiful at first, but by morning, her eyes and ears grew bigger than anything Beatrice had ever seen. The people of the village avoided Beatrice and her child, and Namdi, Beatrice's husband, was so ashamed he refused to be a father to Naomi. Naomi grew up facing mockery and scorn from the villagers. But despite her looks, she was kind, obedient, and had the sweetest voice anyone had ever heard. Beatrice, on many occasions, arranged marriages for Naomi, but upon seeing her for the first time, the suitors changed their minds. Still, Naomi found ways to live above her pain. But this time was different. The men who came took to their heels, leaving their drinks behind. Some of the elders had their red caps falling off. At that point, Naomi lost all hope of ever getting married. One day, Naomi wandered to the edge of a lake. She was tired, sad, and full of questions about her fate. She knelt down, looked into the water, and began to sing a sorrowful song. Her song was so full of beauty and heartbreak that it reached the goddess, who had been hiding in the lake for years. The goddess, moved by Naomi's voice and gentle spirit, emerged from the water and took pity on her. She told Naomi that she had been cursed unfairly and that the people's greed and forgetfulness had led to this sorrow. She then touched Naomi's face and, in an instant, transformed her into the most beautiful woman in Ibida. When Naomi returned to the village, everyone was in awe of her beauty. Suitors from near and far came to ask for her hand in marriage. But Naomi, remembering her struggles, chose a man who had once been kind to her even when she was cursed, showing everyone that true beauty is not only in appearance but also in heart. And from that day on, the people of Nebosa remembered to honor the goddess of beauty once more.